Oh, no, I mean, oh, yeah. Wow. Hi, it's us. Did you miss us? We missed you,
Who are you talking
because
to?
we host this for you, you know. You know who you are. Stares into your soul blankly. Yeah, we're back. It's another one. Somehow, we're still not done with this. It's me, this guy, and Anka, who is the famous game developer, very busy woman, and me, who sometimes can tolerate eating paprika, and sometimes not. Yeah,
Well, we'll have to hear about your adventures with paprika then.
or you shouldn't. Embrace the mystery. Taste the rainbow. You
But
know,
paprikas do not come in a rainbow of colors.
I've seen purple. I've seen green. I've seen yellow. I've seen red.
There's purple paprika. No freaking way.
I do think so, yeah. I do think there's purple paprika. Wow, wow, what a start.
Yeah, well,
How
that's
how
a pretty good intro.
how are you doing? There are purple paprikas. Yes, I just looked them up.
Yeah, well, good to know that you get
I do believe
aubergine
they
paprikas.
we once had them and they turned green when cooking.
Great. And what's the point that they just leak out the ink?
I don't know. I don't know why they're purple, but their flesh is actually green, as far as I know.
Debate. How I'm
Yeah.
doing though?
Yeah.
Well, I am kind of in the middle of exhibiting at a convention, but this one, unlike
Right
Gamescom or
now.
Maze, yeah, not right now, but like this weekend.
Oh, I thought you meant as in that's where you are right now.
Nah, that would be very cool, but unfortunately, there's no Wi Fi there, so I can't actually do live streaming.
How do they not have Wi-Fi at stuff like that? That's something I don't get
Well,
actually.
they do, but the plebs don't have access to it.
Oh, but you have also no cell reception, or is your data too precious?
Yeah, I don't have unlimited data.
Is there even such a thing as unlimited data anymore? I don't know if people still get unlimited data plans. It was actually a topic during my business trip
Really.
that I did this week.
I've never had an unlimited data plan, even when they were a thing, assuming they're not a thing anymore. So I don't know. I just have, I think, 100 gigabytes a year or something. Maybe less.
100
Maybe 80.
a year. You
Yeah.
have a yearly plan.
Yeah. I buy a yearly plan at this point.
I didn't even know that you could have a yearly plan for data.
Well, there's one from Aldi.
Huh.
Not saying that it's like good or cost effective. It's just that I was going with the Aldi like plans for ages, and then I saw now they also give like they also sell these yearly plans, so, and they seemed better than the monthly ones by a
I
little.
just I cannot gauge how much data I use, and I preserve data because of how little data I have. So if I had 100, I wouldn't ever feel how much data I have left, like in scale to how far the year has passed. So I would have a really hard time, and would probably use more data than I.
I have no idea how much I have left, but I generally don't use much data on my
Mm.
phone. I just kind of am sparing with it kind of by default. So last year, because I this is the second year I'm doing this. Last year, I didn't run out before the end of the thing.
Well,
But
exciting. That's
yeah, it's fascinating. But
well, that's what's going on with you, I guess.
hmm
How's the exhibiting?
I don't know.
Not as
Yesterday,
an exhibitionist.
I'm not an exhibitionist. Don't get a weird idea. I mean, I did see folks walking around in like bikini at the thing yesterday
What?
because it's a very cosplay heavy convention. It's called Polaris and it's happening here in
Bikinis.
Hamburg. Well,
Do
they
these
were
people know what weather it is in Hamburg right now? It's
I
6. Okay, it's 11 degrees now. Still is cold as shit.
look, I don't understand. I was there wearing two layers, one of which was wool.
Hmm.
Um, so I couldn't explain to you how these people manage to have inhuman resistance like that, but
And
they
obviously a bikini on top.
what?
Obviously a bikini on top of all the layers as well, I guess.
Yeah, I was wearing a bikini on top of all the layers.
Why were they wearing bikinis? What the heck were they even cosplaying?
I don't know the character they were cosplaying, but it was this kind of like one of those freaking fake leather underpants
Hmm.
things from the for the bottom piece, and the top piece was kind of like this elaborate jacket that also looked like fake leather or latex like.
Oh, the closest thing that I could think of would be some cyberpunk stuff. If it was an
Possibly.
actual like black bikini thing and then they had fishnets or something, I would think, I guess maybe if they had like face paint, like a camouflage face paint, maybe that character from Metal Gear that totally needs to not wear any clothing for some law reason that is totally valid because Hideo Kojima said it is.
No, because this character looked very anime kind of and more flashy than the thing in Metal Gear, I think.
Mm,
What is that character even called?
quiet, because she
Wyatt.
doesn't talk. Get it?
Oh. Yeah,
Yeah.
this character was different. I mean, this character just wears a bikini top as well. Like it's just a swimsuit.
Yeah, this was why I was thinking. That's the only character I could think of at the moment.
Jesus Christ,
I
that
had
is very
no
scantily
idea.
clad. But no, there
Yeah.
was more coverage, and there was a jacket covering the entire upper body.
Yeah, I mean, what I'm thinking of is that it might be Cyberpunk Edge Runner stuff because that's certainly an outfit that is in the show at some point, I think.
Edge runners. But you said in
Edge
my
Runners, yeah.
Discord that you prefer goon walkers.
Yeah, the original, before they went all mainstream and stuff.
Yeah, they started goon walking, and then they ended up edge running.
Well, it's like you always have to increase. Everything has to make more money, more profit, has to grow. And then, at some point, walking just wasn't enough and they started to run. Stop.
They could have at least gone through the jogging phase, but they just went from walking straight up to running.
We don't talk about the jogging phase.
Okay, anyways,
Hmm.
that's been one aspect of the Polaris convention. I also saw people dressed in a maid suit, whether or not they seemed to present more masculine or feminine. Um, I saw m- other anime probably characters that were doing just dance moves. Like there was a TV where there was a just dance setup, and this person was dancing very energetically, and their tail was jiggling around a lot, but they could nail the dance moves really well. Like I was thinking, damn, this person is actually a really good dancer.
Wow. I've
um
never played Just Dance because I don't know. I've seen people stream it and it just felt like this looks awkward.
yeah,
It
but
never looks like the dances either. Like I've not seen somebody actually look good playing Just Dance.
well,
They
that's
all
the
just look like
problem.
they're struggling to keep up and it just looks like it's the same as when we used to hang out and play SingStar, and people eventually they stop trying to actually sing the song correctly because when they use their voice to sing the song correctly, they don't sound good or they don't get the proper points with what they're capable of doing with singing because it's all gauged on the note you sing. I guess I never knew how they actually measured it. And then at some point, people would just do to keep the thing in line with the score, and you would just not try singing anymore at all. You just give up because you're so frustrated with it when you're also drunk.
Honestly, I've done stuff like that too when I just try to sing along to a song just in my own time.
Ugh, that takes me back to when I watched TV and they had these out and about on the street interview things where I don't know what show it was, but they had this segment where they put headphones on people. They would play them a song, and they would have to sing along.
They were doing a Shazam before Shazam.
That's not anything like Shazam.
I
I'm
thought they had
already
to do a hurdle.
No, they have to sing along to the song that they're hearing through the headphones.
Okay.
And because these people, I don't know if they knew the songs, but they sung along to the song how they thought it went, and they'd always sing absolute incoherent gibberish because they didn't know the lyrics actually, and also because the songs were probably English, like a bunch of time. Most of the time, they were, I think, English songs, and the people were obviously German because German TV, and then they would just sing words that made no sense, and it just sounded so stupid, and it just was embarrassing people. Basically, it
Yeah,
just made everybody look like an idiot.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. This just sounds like setting up people so you could make fun of them because they're gonna sound
Yeah,
bad. They're most likely not gonna be people who can sing well, and obviously they don't know the lyrics, and it just sounds like a fucking mess and like a misheard lyrics YouTube channel, but like
yeah.
without the actual prep, and it's just embarrassment all the way.
Yeah, that's basically what it was. It just was painful to watch, and it made me feel like, "Oh, do I sound like this when I sing along to stuff?"
You
And I
probably do,
realized that
Shalama.
when you sing along to stuff that you don't know and you want to confidently just not interrupt your singing, yeah, you just say some stupid shit that doesn't make any sense, that vaguely feels like it's correct. And
Yeah.
most people are like that. That's the thing. Most people do that. Even people that understand the language that is being sung.
Well, I keep like the thing is that with a lot of music that I used to listen to when I didn't have access to the lyrics, if I go back and I actually at the lyrics now, it's going to be shocking to find out what the musicians were actually saying because I had no fucking idea. In some cases, I couldn't even guess though. Like I was just
Yeah,
not even filling in the gaps. I was just like, "There's a
for
word
sure.
there, but I have no idea what it is," and I could not be arsed to even try to assume.
There's a bunch of songs where it's just because it's so stylistic that you can barely tell what's being sung. There's some Perfect Circle songs where where it was really late where I realized what they were singing properly. Also because my English improved quite a lot on my listening comprehension over time, and in the beginning, I couldn't tell you what they were singing, and words like "woe," like WOE, and stuff like that, like, how the hell are you supposed to know words like that when you hear them? That those are words that you cannot possibly phonetically take apart without reading first.
True. Otherwise, you just think that those people are just very shocked about something.
Yeah. Whoa.
Okay,
Yeah, whoa
well,
sounds like bullshit, that word. But yeah, until you learn that it actually is a word.
woe is me.
Yeah. What does that mean? you know?
I am woe. That's my name.
Yeah. That's so whoa of you.
Oh gosh. Yeah, well anyway, what else should I tell you about Polaris? Overall though, like having a booth there yesterday felt kind of boring. I don't know. It just like we had people coming by and play the game at the booth, but it just feels kind of like most people don't really come by the gaming area because there's not that many games. I feel like this
I thought it was a
convention is
gaming convention.
no, it's not just gaming. It's gaming, manga, anime, cosplay, and Asian pop
Oh.
culture. Like it's this mishmash of stuff. And I feel like yeah, we're kind of just hanging out there, but it's kind of awkward. And I don't know. I didn't get so much this feeling of we're getting players who are likely to get hyped about the game like we do at other
Oh.
conventions. I mean, there were still people who sat through the entire demo. Like most people who did sit down to try to play it actually finished the demo and generally
What
said
demo
that
is that? What is that game called, huh?
it's misgiven, the
I feel
single
like you should
game.
say the name at least in
Yeah,
context.
wishlist misgiven on Steam. The
Do
demo's
it.
available. You can
Or
play it
else.
at home.
Or else the Lego brick will manifest next time you try to go to the bathroom at night and you will step on it
Yeah.
before you can reach the toilet.
Yeah, you're have the Lego curse upon you until you play the demo.
Yeah.
It's
And
already
it's not a
happening.
flat Lego bit either. It's one of those cubes that's especially has an especially small surface area and more edges over the small space than other Lego bricks.
Yeah, you're gonna get several points of penetration. Anyways,
Yeah, people played the demo.
yeah, I don't know what to say, man. It's just it's fine. I'm curious because yesterday was also the first day and today is technically the busiest one because it's the
Oh yeah.
weekend. Like, there's probably gonna be way more visitors today, including in the gaming section. I just feel generally like it's a convention where people go rather to cosplay and to buy weird anime merch, and I don't quite know. And there were some live music performances that were right across from our booth, so it's really loud when people are performing. And I don't know, there was some like trivia show, I think, on the main stage.
Did you
It's
try like shouting in between songs like "Woo, Miss Giffen, woo, yeah"?
no. I, you're welcome to come by and do that for us if you can uh sleep with yourself at night. I mean, with having done that, but I guess I cannot, could not. Yesterday, Rocket Beans came over to the Hamburg delegation booth. We're five studios basically with booths right next to each other, and that's the Hamburg delegation. And they came there. I thought that they were going to interview everybody. They only interviewed two studios, and then they stopped. And we were just coming up. And I thought I was even announcing this. I was writing this in both servers, like
Oh,
both
jeez.
my streaming server and my studio server. Oh shit, we're gonna be on the live stream from Rocket Beans. Nope.
Yeah, that's awkward. That's
Yeah,
awkward. Also
I
for
had
no
to delete one
people
of the
that
posts.
don't know, Rocket Beans is like a German media group that reaches back into the old, almost into the early days of the internet. They used to have TV. They had people that used to have TV shows about computer games and hardware and stuff, and now they are Rocket Bean. I think they produce shows for public broadcast channels as well, as far as I remember. Yeah, I used to go to uni with one of them as well.
Wow.
They're
Sweat.
basically kind of
Brag
like
much?
German Rooster Teeth or Yogscast, kind of that kind of size and impact on gaming stuff in Germany.
You know what's
It,
interesting? If I go to the Rocket Beans TV Wikipedia page, it says the first broadcast date was the 15th of January 2015, and the resolution is 1080p, 60 frames per second. I don't know why they have to include the resolution.
yeah,
But that's all. That's
uh,
what it. That's the capsule for Rocket Beans on Wikipedia.
yeah. I don't get why they would include that anyway. I remember that during my life, I was repeatedly surprised that all of these people were still active in media. And I guess, yeah, now it doesn't. Now it's not surprising anymore because now they are just another internet production team, and it's not that surprising. But they used to be on TV, and the TV stuff got canceled, and then I just was. They got a show on Viva or MTV, and then those channels kind of stopped having produced shows for a while, and then I was surprised again to see them again. They just kept popping up with under new names, basically.
Well, some people just don't know how to give up, I guess.
Yeah, I mean that's also the German TV landscape. No celebrity, no matter how minor they are, ever fucking leaves the scene and goes away. Like I am absolutely bombarded and terrorized and friggin' I don't know what else. What other word can I use? I feel abused almost by the onslaught of ads with a specific artist that was relevant when like 20 years ago when I was a wee little boy and I didn't like back then either and was famous for one song, and now she is the whole face of one of the biggest grocery like supermarket chains in Germany,
Wow,
and
they
it's
scored.
unavoidable.
They scored a
The
big
ads are
star.
everywhere, and for like a few weeks I was like, who is this person that is advertising for them? I have no fucking idea who this is. Not that I have good media literacy for German stars anyway, but is why is she relevant? Who's this? I have never seen this person. Is she like an influencer? No, it's this person that used to make music about being a girl in the most non non-impactful, non-meaningful way. She's called Blümchen.
Little flower.
Yeah. And she
Oh,
used to have this song called Mädchen, I think. And she used to sing because I'm a girl, something, something. And it's sung in a way that really makes your ears bleed because it's so saccharine that it's painful. example, there was like one song that was played on repeat until your ears bled, and then they kept going. And now she's for some reason relevant again. And all I can say is that, yeah, I hate that she's plastered all over the place and that I had to be reminded of who she actually was. And I'm surprised that German celebrities never just metaphorically die in media. They just forever stick around, which I kind of hate because it's like, what is your relevance now? You make ads for a supermarket chain. It's the equivalent of when they have celebrities that passed away advertise Hoovers on TV, which is something that has literally happened.
Well, it's not
And
a Germany only thing. I mean, I've also
no,
recently actually came across some TV show, I think, in Romania, or I don't even know if it was a TV show, but probably. And I'm still surprised that it's still this one guy who used to sing in some kind of like pop group and then
hmm
started over the years to do more and more like TV show moderating stuff. And now he kind of still does that, or he's still involved in content stuff on in media for decades.
it's all nepotism. It's not like they are good. It's just because you already know them, so they are established, and that's easy. That's basically how most of media operates. It's like, yeah, having someone new and taking a risk is different. Is way less attractive to taking someone that's incredibly boring and not interesting.
Yeah, but you know what you're gonna expect there. You know, you get people
Yeah,
being like, "I know that guy.
but
I
that's
like
also
him
what.
because I've seen him before, and my brain has gotten used to this person."
Yeah, but that's also why the German media never changes and never dares to do much because it's the same faces all the time. And there's like three people in each generation that make it into the common media, and then they just have the same mannerisms as everybody else because that's who they learn from and that's what people accept and tell them to behave like. That's just how that is. But yeah, I also wanted to say something nice. I wanted to say Blümchen, she looks great. She somehow managed to she looks incredibly healthy and incredibly good for her age. And it's like, Jesus, I'm so envious. How the fuck does she look the same as she looks better than she did when she made that terrible song, I think.
Oh my god, she is 10 years older than me and looks younger than me.
Yes, that's what I mean. She looks like she's, I don't know, like friggin' in her mid-20s or something. It's weird. She looks so young.
Well, anyways, let's push aside feeling old and talk about the next thing, which is you did some axe throwing.
Well, that's blatantly taken out of content, yeah, content too. I did a business trip this week, yeah, that's what I did.
I gotta do one
This,
next week.
oof, such busy people and yet
Yeah.
so little money. How can one be so poor but then go on business trips
That's
and
the
make so little
paradox.
money?
That's the
Yeah.
paradox of people sponsoring you to go on trips to make their thing look good, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's I work for a company and I've just recently started working there, but there's already a business trip which is important that I joined in on and I still have a relevant input towards. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, but I also have student debt and I live a very, I live with very little money despite this position where I meet important clients. It's like, yeah, this is a weird feeling. I mean, the hotel we stayed in was shit. That wasn't great. I turned the AC off and then because I always get sick from ACs in hotels and planes and stuff. And then I opened the window and it was just loud as shit because apparently in that small city, there's just someone blasting music absolutely at the highest level through their car and revving their engine at this every stoplight.
Oh God.
Yeah. So I just slept with plugs in my ears. And
So it
it
was
was
too hot
raining.
in the room or what? Like,
Yeah, it was just too warm in the room. But I'm also, yeah, easily get too warm, especially when I travel all day and walk a lot and stuff. Yeah. But we visited a client. It was very nice. That was really nice. Were very pleasant people. Felt cool. Was neat experience. Very enriching. Super exhausted though. A lot of walking, a lot of traveling. I'm still wrecked. I went to the gym yesterday, and that's not helping. But oof, mentally drained. And then we did a thing together on Tuesday where we were supposed to go hiking, but because it was raining the entire time, instead we did axe throwing.
Oh, this was like a team building thing.
Yeah, it was just something to have an activity to have fun and get to know each other better. So we did axe throwing, which was like, yeah, you and I literally talked shit about axe throwing a while ago, not on stream, but in general.
Yeah,
It
because
was
it
like,
just feels like, oh, you wanna feel like you're a Viking raiding and pillaging a village.
yeah, because we saw that there had been an axe throwing place that opened up in Hamburg somewhere, and they claim to be like the number one in Europe. Even I'm just looking them up. It's like, what the heck?
Wow,
Eh,
big words, big claims.
Woodcutter.world.
That world, oh,
Uh, and their
woodcutter.
whole
So
marketing is
the
so
fantasy
cringe.
is not that you're some kind of Viking, but that you're cutting wood.
Mhm.
That's
I guess.
so that's even more lame somehow. Like it feels like more humble, but at the same time, still trying to glorify something.
And then it's like, you can drink beer and throw axes. And it's all insanely toxic masculine. Like all the phrases that they use to
Oh my
advertise their
god.
stuff is all just men, beer, men, axes. Whoa, Vikings, raw, chop your hunger. Ooh. And
Chop your
it's
hunger. What? Excuse
it,
me. Also,
that
people who
banner
can't
has
see this, too bad for the people who are just listening because I'm looking also at their image, like on their website, and it's an axe. Like there's two people holding on in one side an axe, and the other one it's a glass of beer, and they basically collide. So there's shattered glass and beer
oh,
flying
so
around.
manly. Oh, so manly because obviously they're trying to kiss, but it's so violent because they're such men that it just smashes.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's an axe beer accelerator.
For me, it has a different image. It's actually two men awkwardly holding their hands next to each other, like their hands are within 2 centimeters of each other. And one is holding an axe, the other is holding a beer, like they're holding it from the top, the
I mean,
beer.
you don't know that they're
And
men.
the one of the men has a ring that has like a wolf face on it. That's really there. That page, that image is on my page with the ring that looks like so manly. Oh, it's so Witcher.
Oh god, the wolf ring is freaking
Yeah,
cringe.
it's the entire image they have is such whir masculine.
Alpha male. The
Yeah.
art of axe throwing. Axe
So me,
master. Learn from our experienced axe masters.
yeah, and me and a female colleague were like talking like, yeah, she was like, yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about this yet. You know, I was also saying, yeah, it's not really my vibe. Usually, the insanely masculine stuff that tries to sell you really hard on the men being men, manly. So yeah, but I thought I probably would be still enjoyable because it's a mechanical movement thing, and usually I find those things fun
Yeah, I
from
mean,
to lead.
I can see the fun in doing it. It's just a bit that is so making it aggressive and like, oh, I'm a strong, manly man who can throw an
Well,
axe.
I can tell you I get the same endorphin satisfaction as I get from skipping rocks on a pond. So anything basically, throwing a ball against a wall, or any of these things, all kind of have the same feeling to them.
Yeah,
Throwing pasta against some tiles to see if it's done. I don't know.
that's how you
I don't
check
know.
if your pasta is al dente.
I've never actually managed to do that properly, but supposedly that's what you do.
Okay.
But yeah, I also saw that they have this is the most manly, which I can find really funny. Is there things that they have to on offer? One of them is playing shuffleboard.
Wait, what's shuffleboard?
That's like an old people thing to play shuffleboard. That's like the antithesis to something manly to play. It's like, oh yeah, you can throw axes, or you can play shuffleboard like seniors in the old folks home.
Is that a form of curling?
Yeah, it's like a table curling thing.
Oh my god, that actually sounds fun, even though it's for old
It is
people.
fun, but when I look at this, literally, an image from a company that makes like wooden toys, Haba is what HABA has an image of three old people playing it. Can I link this? Does this work?
Yeah, you can probably put the link in chat and I'll open it. But I googled that and I also am getting two images of old people playing it.
Oh, the link is kind of fricked. You need to copy it
Yeah, that's fine.
manually. But
Look at
yeah,
them.
it's such an old folks home thing to do.
It's in a
If you're
retirement home
listening,
activity.
just Google shuffleboard and you'll find some old people, I'm sure.
Yeah, they,
But
they look like they're having fun at least. So
yeah, I mean,
don't
sure,
dunk on it too
it
much.
must be fun, but it's just the mix of activities is just kind of funny to me. There's also an image from like an Amazon thing where there's someone just absolutely ripping it, being so excited that I can't, I don't know. You explain how this person looks.
They look like they're happy to be taking a dump.
Yeah, kind of. They're doing that squatting down while looking at a TV above them which is showing their favorite team just nearing a goal and almost scoring. That's the pose they're doing. The fists at their sides, ready to scream, basically.
It's just really silly because nothing on this image is like real. They
No,
they
it's
they basically photoshopped two people that are actually not doing the activity pictured.
yeah. Even
The
the
pucks
shuffleboard pucks are shopped in.
yeah, they're photoshopped in. The board itself is photoshopped in. Everything is just a collage.
And I would love to be able to take a bet, but I don't know how to research this. It's from Amazon Canada for some reason. So if you want to search for this, it's shuffleboard table 9 foot poly coated surface on Amazon Canada. Maybe that's enough. But this person that's actually playing, I'm pretty sure they took this photo from them playing billiards. It looks exactly like they're supposed to actually be playing billiards.
I see what you mean because it kind of looks like their fingers are raised. But
Yeah, it
no,
looks like
actually, I can't really tell that that would have been holding a stick.
no, I now that you made it bigger, I see it even more because the index finger and the middle finger look like they are splayed in a way that you're supposed to have the cue between them.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
But they could also be holding on to something. They
Yeah,
could be
that.
riding a horse. No, that looks like they're holding on to the edge of a table. This is
Honestly, I can't. I don't think we should analyze a picture that
also it's really
people can't
fantastic in
see.
an audio only medium. Well,
Yeah.
you get what you get. Anyway, we were axe throwing, and it's something about it was actually really disappointing. And I mean, yeah, obviously, but it's mostly about technique. I mean, who's surprised? But it's barely about force. It's barely about force. They had like a small and a big axe. They were saying the big axe you should throw like above your head with two hands. I took it in one hand instead because I was theorizing that it would be more comfortable for me because I have very long limbs and it would probably be easier for me to get a good position to throw it in and actually hit and have it be stuck in the wood. And they introduced it to us. They were like, "Yeah, you go into these cages to throw. Never go out while someone else is still throwing. Always close the door. Very secure." Before this, we watched a video from LA where it became popular, the axe throwing stuff, I think, and they were not in cages. It was all open. Yet in Germany, everything is enclosed with with like metal cages, so nobody dies by accident.
Well, I'm happy that they do that in Germany, honestly.
Yeah. Yet in America, it's like, yeah, if that thing flies backwards, if you're standing there, your toes are gone. That's just how it is.
Yikes.
Yikes. Indeed.
Yikes.
Yeah, and I don't know. It was kind of difficult, but you really just have to keep your limbs at a 90-degree angle, and it's not really about force. It's mostly about angle, and that's it. It's all technique. And then at some point, they gave us the metal bit, the shovelly bit of a spade without the wooden handle, with none of the wooden handle. So if
Just
you
a
look,
spade tip
yeah,
top.
you know how you have the thing where the wooden shaft goes in. It's like where it basically it grabs the wood. Well, the wood just wasn't in there, but that bit was still there. So this hollow bit where the stick would be in for the grip.
But why though?
I don't know. I saw that this other place actually does have a spade that has the handle still attached,
Were you
and they
supposed
sharpened
to dig a hole?
no, they sharpened this because my assumption was they brought it out later to make us feel less bad because it technically has 3 times as much, edge to hit the wood with,
But it's
you know?
literally a spade, or is it
Yes.
just kind of shaped like a spade, but it's
No,
something
it's
else?
literally a spade, but they sharpened the edges.
So you were still supposed to throw this at the target.
Yes, yes. Still the same process, throw it and stick it to the board to get a bullseye or whatever. You had to get points. We were playing different types of games where you had to collect points or hit every area 3 times. They called that cricket for some reason. I have never played cricket. I don't know how that works.
Me
I'm sure
neither.
that's how that works. I don't
But
know.
like the thing with the spade tip is were you
Mhm.
still holding it by this like holdy bit and then throwing it kind of with a curve?
Yeah, I basically held it where the stick would have been. Basically, I extended it so my arm was basically in the position where the stick would be, the handle.
Your arm
So
was
it
the
was an
stick.
extension. Yeah, the spade was just an extension of my hand, like my palm, kind of.
Mhm.
Or maybe how you would throw a throwing knife, kind of like that,
Yeah,
where
I getcha.
you place your fingers length along with the thing. And I don't know, I threw that, and that was insanely easy, ridiculously easy. So much so that I got the high that when I got my last point on that cricket thing, I had done a point, and then I was told by my team because we had 3 teams playing against each other. Well, now you need a 3 and a 2, and if you hit a special point, that's like in the top left or right corner, you can choose 2 points to get, like 2 and 3, for example. So I just threw the spade and then immediately hit the thing where I got to choose 2 things to tick off, and it was super easy.
They
So I
should
felt
have
like a super pro.
started you off with that one then.
Yeah. So if zombie apocalypse hits, just rip the metal bit of a spade, and I can use it to kill zombies very easily, I guess. It
Cool.
also made me
Good
realize
skill.
how easy it is to get okayish at throwing an axe if you're ever meaning to use it in a harmful way. It's actually kind of ridiculous.
Oh god, you're scaring me.
Well,
Now you have
bla- br-
skills that you shouldn't have.
what I'm saying is anybody can spend a day and get good enough to be able to sometimes hit somebody and injure them meaningfully. If
Yikes.
they're standing the right distance from you, though, it's very dependent on how far they stand away from you.
You know what? Since you have that skill now, can you find out who these people are who find my number and text me on Instagram over and over? Do you want a part-time job with me? Are you still looking for a
How is that
job?
connected?
Because this is the people I would have you toss an axe at.
Jesus, you're
But
asking me to.
it
Yeah.
shouldn't hit them. It should fly right past them and freeze their blood. Um
Wow. I don't know if I have that power to
I
freeze
keep
somebody's
getting
blood.
these texts on Telegram, like on Telegram of all places.
Well, I mean, Telegram is the place I would expect it most, honestly.
Yeah, fair, but it's just so fucking stupid.
Yeah,
I
that's
keep
stupid.
having to block these random bots or whatever they are.
Also, what I was trying to explain is that even if I didn't want to hit them, the chances are still like 50-50 that I will still hit them.
That's true.
Because
So better
it's,
not risk it, I guess.
yeah. I'm saying that if you don't care what you're hitting, in front of you, that you don't need to be very good to be dangerous,
Mm.
you know.
Yeah.
It's surprisingly easy to be dangerous with an axe over a distance and not to yourself. Actually, nobody got hurt, which I was like surprised finding out when I saw it. I was like, oh, actually, there is a very slim chance you hurt yourself throwing an axe. It's actually not that bad. It's probably very rare.
Except if you
But
drop it on your foot, I guess.
the most fun and significant thing that I did though is that I threw the spade bit, and instead of hitting with one of the 3 sides that were sharpened, I stuck the spade into the wood with the handle.
Not really.
Yeah, it was literally the opposite from
I
what it
wouldn't
should have
even
been.
expect that that would actually stick into the wood.
Well, the wood has been pelted by axes, so it's probably very soft, so it's easier, but still, yeah, the that metal bit still penetrated the wood and got stuck in it, which was kind of funny.
Nah, that's a humble brag. You
I
you
mean,
you toss it with such force.
to me, it wasn't as funny when I saw someone throw the large axe and the axe got stuck with the end of the handle instead of the tip of the blade, because that also happened. Someone managed to get the axe stuck with the metal bit that you can put a like a rope through or something.
You know what? Maybe they made those targets out of cheese, out of butter.
Maybe they were cheese and and glue.
Yeah,
It's just a soft wood, I think. That's all it is. It's to make it a little easier. But
mega
there
soft.
was still like pressed wood boards behind it, and I still managed to hit an axe in that too, though. So it's yeah, it's still wood. You know, you need like some really really hard wood, like wooden shields were made out of, probably, and that would be harder to strike into.
Yeah, that's the real challenge.
I mean, I would really like to see, you know, I would watch a video about someone testing different woods and throwing sharp objects at them and seeing how safe they stay, how well they protect. I'm sure that's something that armor smiths have made themselves confronted with.
Yeah, I'm sure about that too.
Yeah, but yeah, I told the colleague when we talked about it after that I could have gone bowling, throwing darts or billiards, and I would have had the same kind of fun, honestly.
Well, the axe throwing is just the latest trend thingy.
Yeah,
The
and
latest.
I guess if you do those things instead of axe throwing, you have less of a risk of getting a rotator cuff injury.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was my business trip. Yeah, and then I went back to work on Thursday already,
You
and yeah,
returned a manly man after that outing.
I felt more manly going to the gym yesterday because it felt good to physically move heavy objects.
Weren't you compelled to toss him like an axe?
Oh, Jesus. Throwing a barbell would be insanely difficult. Like those things, even for strong people, those are kind of cumbersome
Yeah,
because
that's
they are so
the
big.
the next Olympic contest. Throwing a barbell at like an axe. Do they
Jesus.
even
Well,
do axe throwing at the Olympics?
no, they do. I don't think they do. I mean, they could technically, if Scandinavia hosts and they decided that they wanted it, they could choose axe throwing as a sport. I mean, what is it called in Germany? It's called Hammerwerfen. It's this thing where you have a heavy object on like a wire and you are doing that spinny move and then you are letting go and it flies very far.
I don't know, but there's the World Axe Throwing League. That is the
Yeah, of
global
course there is.
governing body of urban axe throwing.
I mean, there's also log throwing, hammer throw. Okay, it is hammer throw. Yeah, there's also the log tossing or throwing. You know, that's like a Nordic event.
Yeah, but the
Like,
hammer throw is different because you spin with
yeah,
that thing. Like,
which I find harder
that's not
because
even
how do
a
you time?
hammer. Or I
How
guess
do
it is
yeah,
a hammer, but it's like a circular thing.
yeah? It used to be a hammer, I'm sure. Some at some point.
But now it's a ball.
Yeah. Well, everything becomes more athletic and ergonomic, you know, with
Yeah,
time.
it's because of the aerodynamics.
But I always found that scary and hard to do when I tried it in school because how do you aim that reliably? Because it's so difficult. How that thing is heavy as shit. And once you get momentum going and you're spinning with it, having the right footwork is so much harder than just throwing a ball a wide distance because you need to stay balanced and then you still have to aim it not at a person.
Yeah, it does seem pretty insane.
Yeah, like that I'm really impressed by. Like I'm way more impressed than someone throwing darts on axe. Hammer throwing looks cool as shit. With that looks so graceful when they do it right. Jesus Christ, that is something I would gladly look at. That looks so cool.
That's Shalama's version of ballet or ice
Well, I would
skating.
also look at ballet and ice skating. Those things are also freaking impressive as shit, man. People being like at the height of their grace, having insane technique. That's so satisfying. Yeah.
I have news about the ex developers of Disco Elysium.
Oh, Zown.
Zaum.
How is
Zaum.
it spelled?
Zaum.
Oh, I thought it was N all
Mm,
this time
Yeah, I
because then
always
it
get
would be the
confused.
German word for the German word Zaun, which is literally just fence.
Yeah, it's not the German word for fence, no. But a while back, the developers, like a lot of the people involved in the creation of Disco Elysium got had a fallout with the studio, got kicked out apparently, um, even though they were kind of the founders or like the creative directors, whatever. So a lot of people, basically, the studio kind of is was left with not many of the original members, and a lot of people left. They've scattered, and they've been cooking. They've been
They've
cooking
been
real
cooking.
hard. They've been cooking so hard that there's basically now 3 or 4 new studios that claim to make the spiritual successor of Disco Elysium, that are made up of previous Zaum members and new people.
Wow.
It's kind of hard to follow all this shit. And I actually just found out about these studios because for some reason they kind of announced themselves roughly at the same time. I
Hmm.
don't know if that was accidental or not, but I think it's in like the previous week they've been surfacing with like putting out that they're a thing. And
Oh, they're a thing. Ooh.
they're a thing. Yes. So technically, not all of them are public. There's like Robert Kurwitz and this other guy that I forget the name of, the lead artist. They basically have a studio that is kind of, there's not really info about it, that is called Red Info apparently, and they're backed by some company in China. I don't know, like apparently those two kind of formed something, but then the other ones that came out are called let me see, what were they called? Dark Math Games. But no, first one came up was Long Do Games Studios.
Dark math games.
Dark Math Games is the other one.
Wow.
The Longdo Game Studios is a 12-person studio made up of some former devs with some others coming from Bungie and Rockstar. I'm quoting this article from thegamer.com right now. And they're making a game that is called XXX Night Shift. No, that's the other guys. Sorry. There's too many people. No, Dark Math Games is the one that's doing the XXX Night Shift, triple X Night Shift, whatever, however you say that. Long Do Games is making a psychogeographic RPG, but not a,
Of
it
course.
doesn't have a title yet. And then the last one that popped out is Endless, no, wait, Summer Eternal. I'll learn this name eventually. Summer Eternal is the last studio that popped up. And this one is the most socialist of them. It's so socialist. It's basically making a company, like it's a studio that is made up of 4 entities, and they all have shares in the company. And like there's a section owned by just the full-time artists that like have 50% plus one of the shares. Then there's like a 25% that's going to be owned by like outsourced or like freelance workers from the company. There's going to be a 20% of like owned by this like limited liability entity that will be used to draw like investors. And then there's like 5% that they want to actually be owned by players, like do some kind of crowdfunding or something.
How would it be owned by players?
I'm not sure honestly. They wrote a
You
shit
got
ton on
anything
their
else?
website, and I haven't read most of it yet because there's just like a bunch of like blog posts and stuff. And they have a fucking manifesto, and everything is green. It's red and black. It's like red background with black shit, and I think it goes heavily on the Marxism. And they also called large language models cold comfort, real doll, pocket pussy in
Oh
this
God.
manifesto.
Yeah, I saw
They
your
go
tweet.
hard. They go hard. They say something like, as creators and game makers. We have too long been led away from the truth, away from the right to define ourselves as artists in service of the definitive art form of the future, one that has made us dream since we were children. Instead, the disposability culture operating at the ruthless core of this industry, I guess gaming, wants us to think of ourselves as cogs in the machine, rudimentary craftsmen, disposable career workers, inert producers of made to order marketing driven content, in quotes. Empty calories, leaving the soul hungry. Yeah, they have this whole manifesto about how basically they want to make a new RPG that is just as ambitious as Disco Elysium or more, whatever, and to make a cooperative form of company, and they have a lot of members already,
Well, I
and
mean, if they managed to do that, that's essentially what everybody wanted anyway. Just for them to exist further and make more stuff like that.
yeah, I mean, I feel
That
like from
basically.
all of these endeavors, I'm not sure about the Chinese backed one with the
Mm,
original, like the lead writer and lead like artist of the original Disco Elysium. That one maybe is also going to make something really impressive, but these guys, Summer Eternal, sound the most promising otherwise because they are a bigger group. They seem very
mm,
like organized. They seem already like very aligned with the Disco Elysium sentiment. They actually have a very like socialist setup, which I really like seeing how they're organizing this, how they're creating some kind of business model that is, more artist friendly and trying to kind of avoid the pitfalls that Zaum had, where they actually had to rely heavily on investors, and then those investors took over the assets too much and basically could oust the creators when they no longer like got along or whatever, and then Zaum kind of fell apart. And now they basically, I don't even know what they're working on anymore, because they at some point were saying that they want to work on Disco Elysium too, but that has gotten canceled.
to mean the remaining people that stuck with
Yeah,
the company.
yeah, or
Mm.
whatever became of the studio, because I don't know if, like, most people were changed out, I guess, by now.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess we'd hope that this leads to something good. I mean, there's four of them, or what? How many were there?
Yeah, I mean, basically it seems to be four, even though this one, the like red info, I couldn't find any
Mm.
official information about it. It was just like people on Twitter alleging that that's what those guys are doing, but I couldn't find an actual website or like a press article or something.
Yeah. Well, sometimes when I look at Steam, there's like a game someone's putting out, and I'm questioning who are these people, and then I try to look, and you just find a name of a developer or a publisher, even, but no information, nothing. There's no website, no anything. That happens all the time to me. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
Some
know because
companies
I
just
thought I thought
have
that
no front facing presence somewhere.
yeah, I guess that can be done on Steam. I guess that I had the impression that signing up on Steam to do business there is kind of requiring you to have some kind of established business, but I guess not.
Yeah, that's been my experience, that anybody just uploads something there, then they are a developer, and they just sometimes there's just names of people. I think yesterday I looked at this Judero or Jude. I don't know how to say it. I think it should be Gaelic, right? It should be. I don't know how you would pronounce that.
Don't ask me.
I don't freaking know. It's this insane game that is all handmade assets. Like the main character is an action figure. All the NPCs are action figures. Their faces are clay. They all look insane. It's like Jude, the name Judero, Judero, I guess. And they say his name in the game. I think it's Judero,
It's
but I'm not quite
based on the
sure.
rich folklore of the Scottish borders.
Yeah, it's bizarre. It's so bizarre, but it has this weird art style that actually is kind of cool. But have the developers just literally be names of people somehow. Like Tala and Jack Co. I guess that's maybe the company, but they then also have King Spooner. It could literally just be someone's last name. I don't know. But yeah, that's a curious game.
J. King
Check
Spooner.
You can play the demo of that if anybody's interested. I saw it and I was like, wow, that's wild. That deserves to be noticed at least. And it has been noticed. And people are like, wow, this is incredible, even though it's really janky, but it has a lot of charm. It's wild. Yeah. Well, I guess we'll keep an eye on the veterans from Disco Elysium and hope we'll see something cool in the future.
Yeah, I mean, they're probably like they have a newsletter sign up on their website, I guess, for sending out updates because they are basically organizing now and they want to form the company, this whole legal setup by April next year, 1st of April, April Fools. Uh,
Haha.
Haha,
Yeah.
yeah. But I guess they will send out information about maybe like crowdfunding or I don't know what it is. Like, I guess how much as a player you can do that if you're interested in that sort of thing.
Yeah, it's also this thing of, oh, this is a different topic, but it basically kind of bleeds over into that directly. Is the whole thing of what it makes me think immediately is, yeah, you can crowdfund a game, but looking at Kickstarters and how much budget media gets, like movies as well, shows, everything. How much money will they need? Like the games they have made so far seem like they would be massive in terms of budget. Like, if you made another Disco Elysium now, it feels like because of all the voice acting they put in, I don't know if you can make enough money from crowdfunding. Maybe they could because they have the prestige of Disco Elysium now.
Yeah, but they are clearly saying that they're not relying on crowdfunding. They're trying to also attract investors. It's just
Yeah,
that
but
they have a company set up where there's an
yeah.
entity that can be used for investment, but there's like a worker owned uh thing, and there's also kind of like a players council with shares, and I don't know, it's very complicated, I guess, but
I mean, it would be incredible if they can manage to have enough funding while also maintaining creative control over the IP. But I mean, that's why they ended up in this in the first place, right?
yeah.
Because money. And that's what I'm cynical about, I guess. How you maintain creative direction and control while also trying to crowdfund this. I just feel like if you look at stuff like Star Citizen, that's a project that is a giant money hole because it's just so overscoped that it's impossible to ever reach fulfillment of the goals, I guess. And because they are probably the most fluid when it comes to the scope, because they get more money, they make more stuff, they plan more stuff, they sell more things, they make more money. It goes in a circle. I don't know. I guess that's the extreme case. It's like, I don't know, curious if someone can manage to do that well.
Yeah, it was interesting because we also got somebody yesterday who to actually meet us at our booth and talk about like investments, like what game developers think about investors, because it's not always, especially if you're a small indie, generally you don't really look at investors. You kind of assume that you have to go with the publishing model where you just chase down a publisher that has mercy on you and gives you money to finish your game, so that for then you have to pay them back huge amounts, and then you have to get another one for your next game, and the cycle just goes on until you burn out, then you close the studio,
Mm.
or somebody else takes it over. But yeah, this person was also talking about investors. Like, yeah, why are game developers afraid of investors? Well, because they could also take over the studio and basically shut you out of your job there, or even if they buy you out and they keep you for a while, they could shut down the studio at any point, which is what actually happened to this person, that they were kept around after the buyout in their original role at the studio, but then the studio was shut down. So it's like, well, I guess you were bought out and you are maybe happy about that, but if you set up to actually build a studio that is supposed to kind of last, I personally wouldn't want to just be bought out of it and go and try to make another studio somewhere else where I can work on my like dream games or whatever. I just
Yeah,
kind of
that
want to be
sucks.
able to make my dream games at the thing that I'm putting
Yeah.
my time and effort
It
into.
feels like you buy a flat that is kind of run down, and then you make it all nice, and then you have someone you're like, "Oh, I need money to fix this more and make this nicer." So you get a roommate and you're like, "Hey, if you want, you could own part of this and or like if you want to help, we can make this nice together and maybe we'll sell it together in the end." And then it's just like they help you fix it up and make it all nice. And when it's all nice and there's someone that really wants it, they kick you out and sell it and take the money for themselves and only give you back your initial investment, I guess.
Yeah, or I mean if
And
you're
at that point
lucky
you might want to stay.
or if you manage to scale the business, if you manage to make it worth a lot more, you could sell it for
Yeah.
millions and then you can go and retire early.
Yeah.
I
That
mean,
was actually a bad metaphor that I had. I thought it worked. It didn't.
it kind of worked, but I don't know.
All that really bad decorators and ruin it. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
closer.
Yeah,
That's
that is
closer.
closer.
Yeah, instead of letting you have your vision and just giving you the money, and they would still make money in the end when you sell it, they for some reason decide that they need creative input to control it because they don't trust you to make something that will appreciate in value
Yeah,
and
or even
increase.
if they like, let's say, yeah, they are that kind of investor that is not hands on and they just like wants to find the right team that's gonna, that is promising, is gonna make big money. They still put money into you originally, expecting high returns, and there's still probably going to be this pressure of how do we return the investment? How do we
Yeah.
like they still want how many like a return of I don't know how many like what factor. And you don't, I mean, depending on the kinds of games you make, you don't really want to have that pressure. I mean, you want to make something that, I don't know, depends on the studio, but if you're a studio like ours, what your main focus is to make a game that you're proud of and align with, and then trying to make that one sell as well as possible rather than trying to adapt to a trend or trying to just like produce something that is most likely to sell based on the market trends or whatever,
Hmm.
even if that's not the stuff you want to work on.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen this a million times in TV stuff, but makes fun of TV stuff and just general production media stuff where people are like, "Well, you got to reinvent your style because that's not contemporary what you're doing right now. You need to be cool and fresh. That's why you need to be different." How bands are advised to dress a certain way, how TV show hosts will have a wardrobe that's styled by a designer because they need to appeal to the most people, and how you basically lose agency over how you're presented because you need to adhere to whatever the label or the whoever is giving you money and controls your money and your IP thinks is the best. Yeah,
So exhausting, man.
yeah. Like I genuinely, for my business trip, I considered asking how I should dress.
Oh yeah, that's a slippery slope.
Yeah, and I was like, How do I present myself in front of these customers? Like, they handle a lot of money, so and we're making something for them, but it's also like we are. This is in the space of making apps and stuff, so it's not like it really matters what we look like. So I just wore my cargo pants and my really fucked up sneakers at on the last day, which is the yeah, because I still don't have new shoes. Uh,
Oh
all my
no, the
shoes
Shalama
have
shoe
holes in
saga
them.
continues. Oh dear
Yeah,
lord.
which I guess I can briefly say something about. I think I fucked myself up by at some point starting to wear barefoot shoes because that way my feet have kind of become wider because my toesies got more like my
They
toesies can
spread
move
out,
more. Yeah, they splay
they
more
splayed.
basically. Yeah, my toesies are more splayed. I can pick things up with my toes very easily. I always could though,
You
but
can play piano
allegedly
with your toes,
I don't think I have that much control,
but
but I can easily pick
almost.
things up and open doors with my feet and stuff if I need to. If I'm holding things, I don't know.
I mean, I think I
I've
could open a door with my foot as long as it's just a handle that I need to push
Yeah.
down.
Well, I can grab things with my toesies as well for that. I could probably turn a key with my toesies too.
You keep calling them toesies.
Well, they are. They are toesies.
They are smaller than regular toes, or like,
No, they're toesy woesies. What do you mean?
wow. Okay, well, it sounds like
They are part of my feetsies.
you're infected with the veggie wedgie virus.
Well, where did that come from, huh?
Uh, I don't know, from some kind of
Yeah.
alien inoculation.
But I got really cool shoes, and it just feels like anything I put on that looks cool is like, why is it so tight? And my pinky toe hurts. It's like, can you not make shoes that fit my feet, please? Am I to blame because my toes are too splayed from walking on my front foot in barefoot shoes too much? Are my feet too chunky now? Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know. This is
maybe.
something I read a post by somebody that was like, I am a professional shoe fitter. And I can tell you that, most of these things are genetic and everybody has different needs. It's like, how the fuck do you find the perfect shoe for people? Do you have like a mental archive of like a million shoes? What if I want a sneaker that looks cool? How many shoes can you fit me? How do you know? Possibly what
Wait,
shoe I would need.
but is this somebody that just finds a shoe that is already produced by
I
some brand, or do they just craft custom shoes?
I don't know. I don't know how that works. Maybe if they created custom shoes, yeah, sure. But you cannot get most sneaker designs custom made, I think. That's too complicated. It's mostly just leather shoes and stuff you get made by a cobbler, I think.
I mean, depends how much you're willing to pay.
Yeah, I guess. I guess if you really want to go super bespoke. I mean, if you do that, they make a wooden recreation of your foot shape, and then they make the shoe around that, basically. And that costs money, like the initial money you need to pay to have someone model your foot out of wood. That is something they do. It's easily costs like a few $100 to get shoes made like that. I'm aware of that at least. But I'm not. I don't want that. I want cool looking sneakers that are comfortable, but I'm forever trapped wearing barefoot shoes, it appears, which are not cheaper at all.
I'm trying to
And
currently
that's
look at Sneaker Surgery,
why.
which is a custom sneaker shop in Hamburg, but I cannot tell you if these people make custom shapes or just custom like designs.
Oh, I found it, yeah. Yeah, this looks like they change sneakers to be custom with designs and stuff.
Yeah, I think it's rather just cosmetic shit, which is not what you would need. And also, all of these look fucking lame. Like, just a freaking pair of sneakers that they made a lightning pattern on. And it's
Yeah, these
280 bucks.
all I'm seeing is that these are Nike Air Force Ones that cost like between 280 to $420 and they just painted on them.
Yeah, and they look horrible. I hate these.
There's the custom bit about them is I took a marker and I drew on them.
Yeah, that's not surgery. You make it sound like they freaking literally cut like craft sneakers that would fit your foot perfectly, but this is not what this is.
Yeah, they just paint stuff on them. Like here's some seeing some anime designs where they drew like Naruto stuff on them, portraits, animals. There's some that they have Tupac on them. It's like, yeah, these are just painted.
This is what I would expect to have a booth at Polaris.
Just someone that makes designs on shoes.
Yeah, kind of. But
It's
not
just
even great designs.
so expensive for a shoe that breaks down after a year of using.
the
It looks
thing
like they
is,
airbrush them.
the thing is that they still claim that yeah, okay, no, they don't claim. It's literally just the design that they alter, not the shape or whatever.
Yeah, they just misuse those words to sound cool, like everybody else.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I gotta head out though, so we're doing a hard cut here.